All right, Adam Funderburg here at Brainless Seas. Let's go and take the design studio for a spin, okay? We're going to do something for a club volleyball group. Okay, so let's come over here. Quick do's and don'ts. Never use this, okay? Never use a blank canvas. That's like handing somebody a blank sheet of paper. If you've got real design skills, then you do not need Design Studio at all, okay? The 99% of the rest of us, okay, are going to be starting here, okay? These are designs that were put together by professionals. They're all well balanced. They're great, okay? So we're going to do a volleyball design, okay? Now you can come down here, you can click on this, and then you can scroll down and you can select volleyball. But here's what you're going to find. You're going to find you got, yes, volleyball designs, okay? The only thing that makes these volleyball designs is that they've got a circular ball, which can be swapped out super easy, or they have the word volleyball across it, okay? If you want a lot of variety to select from, you can go in here to athletic department. You can go here into mascots, and you will find designs that have mascots in them, right? So that you can upload yours. And the thing is that all you're going to do, the only thing that makes these, sport specific is the fact that they use a piece of clip art that's in the clip art category. And I would tell you that a lot of the time you're going to be swapping the ball out anyway. Okay, so let's go into athletic department and let's take a look around here. Okay, so I've got a lot of designs here that these are beautiful designs ready to go. Okay, let's go with this Valley Christian one. All right, so this is apparently a tennis design. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to turn this into a volleyball design that's for my club, okay? I do not need a picture of a volleyball. What I really want is my school's logo in here, right? Or my program's logo. Okay, so I went through and I just typed in, that we're the Spartans. Went and looked for a Spartan logo. Okay, what I want is something with two colors in it at least. Okay, so what I did was I found this art here that has a checkerboard in the background, which means that it's transparent, right? If you can find this for your program, that's what you should use, okay? But I'm going to show you how to do something that's just a little more challenging, which is this one here that has white in the background. And I'm going to show you how to get that white off of there, okay? You want at least 600 by 600. That way you have some good edges on your art, okay? You're going to right click. You're going to go Save Image As and Volleyball Program, okay? So we're going to save this off. Now it's saved off down here, okay? Or it's saved off on my little thumb drive, okay? So here I am over here, and I want to now go and find that art. I'm going to go into the upload. I'm going to come down here and go to volleyball program. There's my art. Upload. Okay, so we're going to go with, we're going to use our eyedropper tool and select the white, but in here some of the white remained, right? In this particular piece of art, I want to get rid of all of that white, so I'm going to go remove all white. Now it's gone through and all of the stuff that wasn't here is now gone. Now I can click on two color and good, it found that it only saw the two colors. Now from time to time, when like the two colors here are actually touching each other, in an effort to make the image look better to the eye, there is a thing called anti-aliasing, which it just puts a little bit of blur in there so that it's not so harsh, the separation between the two colors, okay? But it causes some serious problem when you're trying to pull art apart because it detects this color blue, this grayish thing, and then a whole bunch of colors in the middle, right? So the way that I generally get around that is I actually bump this thing up to as many colors as I need to, right? So I can go up to 6. And then what it will do is it's going to show that there's all of these different colors inside the artwork. And then when you get it in here, when you get the artwork in here, it's going to show that you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. And what you do is you just select those different colors and then merge them, right? So if I wanted to make these two colors merge, right, I would select this, and then I'm going to come over here and select that, and now it makes them both the same. So if I've got like some sort of a line where these two colors are touching, and then there's like, you know, so if this whole thing was red, right, if the fan part of this Spartan helmet was red and it touched this blue, there might be a bunch of purple in the middle, right? But to make that line harden, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of the purples, and then I'd select red and see how that looked. And then the other one, you know, if there's another shade of purple, I'd select that one. And I might turn that one into blue, depending on how far the line went and what actually looks good. So you can go in, change the color, and then change it back and goof around with it a little bit. Now, I've got this art laid out, but let me show you something else. If you plan on doing a lot of this, or if you're a part of a school and you would like your own designer, what we have is, you know, we've got designers for a lot of these schools. And so what you can do is we can set you up with your very own school designer, like this one here for Canvas Paper Makers. And then you come into the artwork, clip art, and up here is the Canvas Paper Makers. So all of their mascots and logos are already loaded in here. We've already prepped them. We know that they work exactly the way that we want them to. In some cases, we can put an outline on some of these items so that if you prefer an outline, it's already got it. If you want to remove it, you just make the thing transparent. It's generally speaking not labor intensive, and if you're going to use it, then we're going to help you out. Okay, so back to our design. We're over here. We're going to turn this into a volleyball design. Okay, we're going to make this Spartan volleyball. Okay, so what we're going to do is right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. Okay, I really want this thing to just be 2 colors. I do like some of these things, but as soon as I put the Spartan helmet in here, it's going to step right on top of a couple of these objects. I do not need tennis rackets at any time, right? Don't need those ever. Whoop, wait a second. What did I remove? Oh, I got rid of the word varsity. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of, you can barely see it in here, but because it's white and it puts it on this almost white background. So I can delete that. I can delete that. Okay, this is the 19 and the 42. I actually don't need either one of those. This is the part that says Christ and knowledge. I can get rid of that. Okay, so now I can move and put this up here. And yes, those colors don't work very well together at all. You will see that there is a magenta line that pops up. Now, that magenta line shows you where center is. Okay, if you move it up and down, you're going to see a horizontal one show up too, but that is showing you where the halfway point is on the shirt space that you're working with. Okay, so the horizontal one or the vertical one is the one that you probably need to actually pay attention to. Okay, so my school or my program colors are actually going to be Seahawk colors. Okay, so we're going to go with a bright green and we're going to go with a navy blue. Now, I currently have nothing that's specifically called out color-wise. This one's navy blue, and all of the rest of these are just gibberish, right? So I come up here, I'm going to go with navy blue, okay? I'm going to take this one, and that one I also want to go with navy blue, okay? So now the fan is navy blue, okay? The helmet, I want to go with green, right? And so this here, I'm actually going to go with like I'm going to go with some kind of a gray or something. Okay, so now here the art is starting to take shape. Okay, we're going to go with, we're just going to call this Spartan. Well, let's go with all caps, Spartan. Then we're going to come down and click on this one here. This is going to be volleyball. Okay, so In this case here, if I want to put something across here, say I want to add text and I want it to say spikes for all, because we're super confident that we're just going to make your life memorable that way. Okay, and I want to come through here. There's 750 different fonts. Let's go with something down here like a handwritten font. Okay. Okay. Now, some of these fonts definitely need to be in mixed case. Okay. All caps is not going to work. So let's go with. Darn, had it right the first time. Spikes for all. Okay. No, let's actually, darn, let's go back. Okay, so it's going to have to be, to fit in the banner, it's going to have to be all caps. Okay. So we're going to go with some kind of heavy font. Okay. Okay, so then we're going to come through and we're going to put this arch on it. Okay. Now, it flipped it the opposite way of what we wanted to, so we're just going to click through here until we get it where we want it to be. Right? Now, moving it around with a mouse can be a little tricky, and let's just say that it was like down over here. You can use your mouse or your keyboard arrows to move it around where it needs to go. So now I know that it's dead center that way, and it looks pretty darn close to where I want it to be. Now, for us, there's very little way for us to tell if you uploaded some of this stuff. You know, when you place your order and stuff and you say, hey, I already created this art, we're going to not be able to tell too much. You know, if this is like your program's logo with the arches, with everything, we're not going to go in and modify it. We're just not going to go in there and start tweaking your logo. But if you tell us, hey, you know what, we created this spikes for all on our own, and we just want to make sure that it's centered inside of that banner. Can you fix that for us? Please make sure to tell us, fix the banner. Okay? Stuff like that. So anyway, this is how this is laid out. We can set up a design studio that will help you lay out this stuff here, and you can have it so that your art is specifically on your designer, and you'll be able to just cut loose on making designs. So now, secondly, after you've got a design, you need to make sure that you save this thing off. Okay? And you're going to have to rename this thing. Okay? So we're going to call this Spartan Volleyball Club 1. Okay? Save this off. This is going to take a second. Okay? It's collecting all of this data, it's putting it all together, and it's saving it off in a file somewhere in Scottsdale, Arizona. Okay? So while it's doing that, it just takes a little bit longer than I have ever expected. But then it'll wrap up, your screen will change, and then what you're going to do is you're going to type in your email address, and you're going to send this thing to yourself. Okay? That will give you the most flexibility for who gets to see it. Because if you type in somebody else's email address, like you're excited to share it, well, getting back to your designs sometimes can be a little bit of work. And there's a couple of huge benefits to emailing it to yourself and having that control. Okay, so here it is. It should be just about done. And then I'm going to be able to email this thing to myself. Okay, so there it is. If you ever need anything, adam@brainlessseas.com is where you're going to go. Okay, so now I am sending this. This takes 1 second. Okay, now this is super low. Don't worry about it. We would never do that and just print it low because you didn't move it up. Okay, so there's our design. Okay, so let's go and say, hey, you know what? There were some things that I liked about this. I really want to see what this volleyball text looks like if I did it in a completely different font. If I do this in some sort of a handwritten thing that's kind of flourishy, would that be cool? That might be cool. You do it in this one here where I'm probably going to want to do it in a mixed case where I got upper and lower case. And so let's say that I like this. Okay, I'm going to go say I do the fill with that color. I give it an outline. Now, if you want to keep your colors down, which factors into the price tag, use these across the top, and it will help you to keep your pricing or keep your pricing under control. Okay, so now I'm adding in a cool outline to that. Say I want to do the same thing up here with the Spartan. I want to fill it like that. I want to add an outline of that, and I'm going to go ahead and push that up, right? So, now I'm getting a very different look. Spikes for all. I think that is the only piece on this entire thing that is actually black. So if I come through here on this and I turn it like that, now I'm actually down a color. So this would be less expensive than the other version, right? Even though I've got outlines on this and all of that, it breaks down by how many colors you have. So here I am, and say I actually want this to have just the tiniest of arches to it. Oh, look at that. Okay. So I'll just have the tiniest of arch to it. And there, that looks cool. So now I decide, you know what? I actually really like this one too. So I save this off, Spartan Volleyball Club 2, hit enter. So as I'm working my way through, all coming up with different designs, I'm saving these things off. They're like save points, right? So if you've ever played video games or something like that, and you're blasting along, if so I'm talking a long time ago, like in the late 80s and stuff, early 90s, you would have to actually stop and say, save my progress, right? It wouldn't actually do it for you. And if you weren't paying attention and you were playing for hours and hours and you didn't save off, well, you'd have to go back to wherever you last did remember to save off, right? Same thing here, okay? You're just going to make all of these different save points where, you know what, I like the way that the art looked. I felt good about that. And what's going to happen is you're only going to use one design. And when you have them all lined up and you're looking at them all together, there's going to be 7 or 8 of your 10 that you go, gosh, I don't even know what I was thinking, why I thought that looked cool, right? But there could be one of those stages where you thought it looked especially cool. So now here, if I go into my email, I hit in. Now I've been sending myself a ton of different designs, right? Now here I am. I got the one that I just sent myself a minute ago, and I got the one that I sent myself 3 minutes ago. Okay, so let's look at the one from 3 minutes ago. Okay, this right here is the link. If I right-click on it and I go copy link address, then I can paste this into an email and look at it, or send it to somebody, right? Now, if I click on this, it will take me into a different portion of the Design Studio. I'm actually looking at my designs right now. Okay, now I can send this to somebody and they could go in here and go click, and they could go into the Design Studio with all of the art that I loaded. Now they're not modifying my original design. They are actually starting to create their very own, right? Which would make it so that you can actually collaborate. They could send you back their version, and then you can modify it and send it back. And so it gives you the ability to do a bunch of that sort of thing, if that works for you. Okay? So anyway, when we get all done, we put together online stores for people so that instead of you having to put together paper forms and flyers and all of that kind of crap, you're going to be able to say, hey, here's the link, go to the store and place your order. Okay. As far as shipping and distribution goes, what we do is we will set up your order so that we run the products through, create all of your products, customize them or whatever. If you've got names or numbers or whatever you want to do on the back, all of these people place their individual orders. We know that they're all part of one program. We print the stuff, we customize it, and then what we do is say your program has 40 orders to it. We can do one of two things. We can make it so that they all ship individually. All of these people pay for individual shipping. Or we can do the second option, would be where we go through and we have one central location where we're going to ship everything. Okay? Now, we will take all of the orders and we're going to bag them and package them as though we were shipping them individually. Throw them into one big box, and then we will ship them to wherever that central location is. Okay? When they arrive there, you're going to open that box and you're going to find a package in there that says, Susie Lou, and if you want it, we can set it up so that it's mandatory at checkout that they say who their coach is. Okay? So it says Susie Lou, and it says Coach Stevens. So you can throw a whole bunch of packages to Coach Stevens, and then he takes them to practice and hands them out. Okay? We got a handful of different ways of getting this done. I think that is probably one of the more popular ways. So anyway, this is how to use the Design Studio. This is an overview of how to use the designer. Now, I will warn you that if you go through and you come up with import a new design idea, okay, if you come through here and you say, I just want to start all over again, I wasn't happy with how that worked out, and you come through and you say, hey, you know what, I think that design would look cool. See, your Spartan head is completely gone now, and you won't be able to find it in clip art because we haven't set up a designer for you. So now you're going to be back over here uploading, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but, if you wanted to just move real quick, it's going to be, a little bit of work. Okay? So anyway, I'm Adam Funderburg from Brainless Tees, and this is an overview of the services that we have and an overview of how you can get things done. If you have any needs, Adam@brainlesstees.com is where to go.